In the towers of Wall Street, sight is everything. Traders trust what they see. Charts, graphs, numbers flashing green and red. But David Linwood, blind since childhood, was invisible to them. Irrelevant, they thought. He couldn't read a ticker or analyze a heat map. To the titans of finance, his blindness was a disqualification. What they missed, David saw what they couldn't. He heard the market. This isn't just a story about a crash, it's about a different way of knowing. David didn't need eyes to sense the fragility of the global economy in 2024. He had a system that translated market chaos into sound, a language he understood. He heard the tremor before the earthquake, a warning no one else could sense. His prediction wasn't a guess, it was a diagnosis. The world's richest investors missed it, blinded by their own confidence. They saw David's blindness as a weakness, not the strength it was. When he tried to warn them, they ridiculed him. A blind man claiming to hear the future. Absurd. But the crash came, shattering fortunes and illusions. Suddenly, the unseen oracle was the only one who understood what had happened. David lost his sight before age 5, but his other senses sharpened. He learned to navigate by sound, building intricate worlds in his mind from every noise. Patterns fascinated him, first in music, then in systems like weather and eventually the economy. He devoured audiobooks on economics and history, connecting events into mental frameworks. To him, financial markets were like music themes, variations, crescendos and crashes. His blindness became his asset. He focused on raw data, not headlines or hype. David believed that if he could translate market data into sound, he could uncover truths everyone else missed. The breakthrough came when David imagined the market as music. With a team of developers, he built Oralytics, a system that turned market data into sound. Each sector had its own instrument, each trend its own melody. A healthy market was harmonious, a volatile one, discordant. David trained his ears, listening to the market's history as symphonies of boom and bust. He learned to hear bubbles, corrections and fear, patterns invisible to the eye. While others stared at charts, David listened for the decay in a note's sustain. He could sense the interconnectedness of the global economy in ways no screen could show. He wasn't just analyzing data, he was experiencing it. His method was alien to Wall Street, but it gave him a unique edge. David's mind became a living library of economic history, recorded in sound. By early 2024, the market's music turned unsettling for David. Beneath the optimism, he heard a low, dissonant hum, a warning sign of systemic risk. The harmony between sectors was breaking down. The rhythm of liquidity grew erratic. It was like an orchestra falling apart while the audience applauded. In March, David pinpointed the problem, a toxic pattern in corporate debt and real estate loans. The sound spread, infecting other sectors, a foundational crack threatening collapse. He predicted a catastrophic failure by the third quarter. David compiled his findings, describing the dissonant debt cord and arrhythmic liquidity. He warned of a coming collapse greater than 2008. He began the thankless task of warning those who thought themselves untouchable. David was ready to speak his truth to power. David's warnings were ignored or mocked. His emails to banks went unread. His meeting with a tech billionaire's aide ended in ridicule. "You can hear a bear market?" they laughed. Financial bloggers called him the blind oracle of doom. Social media piled on. The consensus, the market was strong and David was a fool, but David remained calm. Their arrogance was just another data point, a familiar note before every crash. He listened as the dissonant chord grew louder, the rhythm more chaotic. The beautiful music was dying. He knew what was coming. The laughter of giants was always loudest before the fall. Alone in his quiet room, David waited. The world would soon hear what he had heard all along. The crash was inevitable. The crash began in late summer 2024, just as David predicted. It started quietly, defaults in corporate debt, dismissed as minor, but the infection spread, hitting commercial real estate, then major banks. In September, Two global banks teetered on insolvency. The music stopped. Markets plunged, trillions vanished, screens turned red. The billionaires who mocked David faced ruin. The blogger deleted his article. Shock spread. How had all the experts missed this? In the chaos, people remembered the blind oracle and his warnings. His prediction, once ridiculed, now seemed prophetic. The story spread from rumor to headline. The man who was invisible was now the only one who had seen it coming. The world, deafened by its own arrogance, was finally ready to listen. The laughter was gone, replaced by silence. After the crash, David's life changed. The same people who ignored him now begged for his help, offering fortunes. But David wasn't interested in wealth. He wanted to fix the system, not profit from it. He worked with regulators, not bankers, aiming to prevent future disasters. His story became a global phenomenon, a symbol of wisdom beyond sight. He founded a school to teach his methods, empowering young people with disabilities. He traveled, sharing his message. Different perspectives are strengths, not weaknesses. David's legacy wasn't in the market's recovery, but in the minds he changed. He proved that true insight can come from the most unexpected places. True vision, he taught, has nothing to do with sight.
What's something people don't know about stories? They never truly end. There's always a new adventure waiting for you. Just pick your next tale and I'll meet you there. Subscribe to the Story Circle and let me know which story I should tell next in the comments.